Okay, so we got Murgleton, a Bandicoot, and a little fawn. Well, Firehorn Hatchling should do good versus these critters. I still think I'm going to start with Arphis, though. That Zoomies is going to be very helpful versus Murgleton. I think I only need to land 4 in order to outspeed Murgleton. Doesn't do weak damage to Bambi anymore, but he's probably going to go for Headbutt here, right? 390 speed for the rest of the game. That's not bad. Let's go for Haunt and hopefully get him to put Headbutt on cooldown because I don't want to get stunned. Nice. That is honestly so disgustingly OP, by the way, that this add-on displays whenever cooldowns are used while you're like... The animation never showed, so if it wasn't for the add-on, there's no way for me to know that, first of all, he's running Headbutt, and second of all, that it's on cooldown. I don't know if the other add-on does the same thing, but yeah, that is very huge. So, I want to go for a Glop here. Kind of want to not kill him. I'm going to go for the Glop. It's fine. If I high roll and kill him, I mean, worse things could happen. He's dead and I'm not, right? So, ideally, I get a consume corpse off here, but I'm also 91% HP, so doesn't really matter. I'm going to say that was a good interaction there from my point of view. So this guy's definitely running Powerball, which means he will be able to outspeed me, but he doesn't have a way to take weak damage from my Briarhorn hatchling, so... Thinking... I'm going to go for Corrosion. I think he has Counter Strike too, so we'll take some big damage there, but I can always heal up later with Consume Corpse. I'm going to bring the Briarhorn in and get some work done with these beast attacks. I'm like 99% certain my Trihorn charge is going to miss, so I think I'll just go for Headbutt. See. Let's go for Headbutt first. If it doesn't miss, that was still the right play, because now I have my priority move to kill him. So let's send the Trihorn charge. Let's see. Oh, it landed. Okay. Alright. Well. Murgleton's annoying. I don't think he's 1v3ing all 3 of these pets annoying. He's going to go for that Soul Rush, which might stun me. But it also might not, so I'm just going to sit here and see what happens. Oh, he went for Call Darkness. Well, now I might miss. But I didn't. It's actually looking very potentially that I could no-time him here. Let's go for the Trihorn charge. And he's 1 attack away from dying. Ooh, we survived with 1% HP. That was definitely calculated. Yep. I could bring in either of these pets. They're both... Oh, wait, no. My magic pet is slower than his. Yeah, this was the move. Alright, let's go for Haunt. And then we'll just cannibalize Arphis real quick. Not sure why he's running 2 critters. Maybe he's trying to counter something. Yeah, okay, yeah, this team is 4-0. I mean, this so far it seems to be the best third I've come up with for this combo. It's a fun combo. So, let me see. Lots of Murgleton tonight. It was not the most competitive team I've ever seen that guy play. So at least he's trying to have, like, fun pets now, instead of just playing Triple Darkness. Or maybe that's somebody else that's playing Murgleton. It's always possible. How about this team? Cobbleshell's pretty strong. I saw a Kovok playing this team, and I wanted to try it. It's like... It's a take on this team with the Bloodstone Tunneler, but I think Cobbleshell's actually better. Partly just because he's a better pet. Like, this is a very strong pet. I think easily the strongest critter. And you could argue he's probably a top 10 PvP pet. I mean, he's one of those pets, he's kind of like the Emperor Crab. He's kind of like the new version of the Emperor Crab. If you don't have a way to deal with Cobbleshell, he can single-handedly just completely guarantee a win. Because that healing is absurd. There are ways to counter it, but if you're facing somebody that doesn't have one of those ways, it's just, you cannot outdamage the healing. I think the best way to deal with it is, like, if you just have a swap. The swap really messes with it, because you'll always be faster. He's slow as shit, so even, like, a Fell-Afflicted Skyphon without their flying racial is going to be faster than you. And then when you go for Stone Form, you'll get one heal off, and then he can swap you out. So that's the best way. But the fact that he's a critter means that a lot of the best ways to deal with this kind of heal don't work. Like, I think usually using, like, a kick or an interrupt will stop this heal, but obviously not against critters, and obviously he's immune to stuns too, so if they try to, like, blackout kick you, then it's not gonna, yeah, it's gonna do nothing. It's gonna waste their turn. I feel like the best way to deal with Cobbleshell is probably, like, AoE beast attacks like Whirling Talons or Great Sting, because he's really strong on the front line, but obviously he can't use his healing while he's on the back line, and so you can get a lot of work done with, like, a Violent Pultrid. I think a Violent Pultrid shuts down Cobbleshell very, very hard. Because, first of all, you can bleed him while he's on the back line. And also, if he comes up to the front line to try to use Stone Form, you just use Maul and just about one-shot him. Especially if something crits. But if you don't have a counter, I mean, like I said, kind of like the Emperor Crab. It's like you can kill an Emperor Crab, but if you're not playing a team that has a way to burn him down through his shield and his healing, he'll just never die. And he dishes out a lot of damage too. It's very unpredictable damage too, because Rock Barrage has, like, a big, I would say, a large range of damage, where if he misses all of his attacks, okay, yeah, he's just kind of throwing up a 102 dot each round, which isn't that scary. But if he lands all of them, I mean, that's like, that's a ton of damage, and each one has a chance to crit. And then I think you could run whatever you want in the middle, but I like running Toxic Smoke in case I'm queuing to, like, Indigo or something. So we have... I never did find out what this Elemental's running. It looks like he has Call Lightning based on the team that he's running. It looks like he's Omni Pummel probably, but Sandstorm's what would be the scariest. I think what I want to do here is probably... Doesn't have a way to swap me, does he? Probably start with a Renishu run. This team's a little scripted, because you want to get your Swarm of Flies and your Lightning out. So he does have lightning. Which I'm relieved to see, because Sandstorm's annoying. But I have to be careful, because that Omni Pummel's going to hit really hard under lightning. So he might go for one of these two. I'm assuming he will. Let's go for our own Call Lightning, because he just buffed the damage by 25%. Why not? And then, there's some flying damage here. I'm wondering if it's worth saving my Renishu Runt for later. I can get some backline healing with my humanoid racial, but his health is so low. I mean, I'm only healing for like 50 each turn. It's not a big deal. And I'm so slow. I think it's better for me to just let my Renishu Runt die. In case he doesn't kill me, I think what I want to do here... No, I'll just go for Zap. Probably I'm dead, right? It would be odd if I survive. Oh yeah, that's another thing that's OP about Cobbleshell. He can't be rooted, so... What I probably want to do here is... I think bring in Cobbleshell, because this guy could theoretically have some beast damage, and he also probably has some Dragonkin damage that'll be weak to my Spirit Crab. So I think what I want to start off with is Rock Barrage, because it's strong versus mechanicals. It's going to hit me hard with Omni Pummel. And he might have strong damage with Chop. So I'm thinking about going for Stone Form right away. I'm going to go for Toxic Smoke because I panicked and only had like one turn left. But unless something crits, I should be able to get my Stone Form before I die. Unless I time out. Do these animations go any slower? Okay, he's gonna get a Dragon Racial. But he... Oh, he needed a triple to kill me, but he got a crit. Okay. Well, might be a draw now. The Spirit Crab is really strong 1v1, though, so... What I'm gonna do here is... Go for Ant Magic. That'll buff our dots. And he kind of wasted his Dragon Racial on weak damage, which is why I saved the Spirit Crab for later, as I knew he was running Flame Breath. I don't think he had a way to win, though. Even if he used his Dragon Racial on Quills, Surge just messes with his Quills damage, and that's why the Spirit Crab's such a good cleanup pet, is that high health allows him to survive. Okay, so yeah, that team is fantastic. Let's pick another fun-looking team. I want to try one of these rebellious imp teams. I think this is a lot of fun. Got Fun Size Florendo, TMD. I think this one's a little better. Yeah, let's play this team. It's fun. I've been very surprised at how well this comp does. Because, okay, so it has a decoy breaker. That's nice. But it's not like the strongest decoy breaker pet ever. I mean, the Fiendish Imp is objectively a lot better. These two pets are very low HP. So, if you make one wrong move as far as mind games go, it's going to cost you a lot. It'll probably cost you the game. But if you're able to not lose mind games and not lose one of these pets, then Black Claw with Rip and Immolation is just insane healing with Aura of Gonk. And there's not a lot that can block it. Like, I'm sure Shell Shield would block it. Or, sorry, Shell Armor. Or, like, Barrier Projector. But Sandstorm does not block it. That Black Claw completely counters Sandstorm. And even if they have that, you could also theoretically stack both of these debuffs. Yeah, it doesn't look like that insane of a team because there's no weather changer on it. You would think like Sunlight or Sandstorm would kind of be a free win into this, and you definitely can lose to idols. Like if you're not able to predict when they use Sandstorm correctly, then it is probably going to be just... Sandstorm does so much damage, but if you're able to like portal a Sandstorm, you can totally win versus teams that you should have really kind of no business beating, I feel like. So we got 2 mechanicals, which means that our Rebellious Imp is going to be having a great time. But that Shin Chomper is going to have a really rough time. Let's get Immolation rolling. And then Minefield's down. Might still be worth going for Portal, because that'll bring in my Mechanical Yeti, or, sorry, my Mechanical Dragonling. And maybe avoid a Sticky Grenade. Let's do it. Okay, yeah, we avoid the Sticky Grenade, which is nice. We're going to eat that Minefield, and I think that's okay. So I'm not sure if I want to go for Decoy or the Dot first. I feel like the Dot is probably best, because if this is who I think it is, he's been swapping a lot. And that'll make him think twice about swapping. Also, I think it is the correct move for him to swap, by the way, because yeah, that Mr. Delver is going to break my decoy instantly with turret. I still wanted to go for the decoy in case he didn't swap, but yeah, that Dot will punish his swapping very nicely, because now he's taking it on the back line, and I have 2 of his pets dotted up. Unfortunately, my best matchup versus Murgleton is the mechanical, and I kind of have to use him to stall until my Aura of Gonk comes off cooldown. But I might be okay. The good news is my Shin Chomper will take weak damage from that darkness. So if he doesn't land a Soul Rush stun... Okay, now that was a very questionable swap. There's no excusing that, because now he's just going to die on the back line, and I take his mechanical racial. It would have been a close game, and I think he might have won if it wasn't for that, but no, it's pretty much over. So what I think he's probably going to do here is throw down a minefield. And I'm sure that's why he was greedy enough to go for... Let me see, do I refresh Immolation? I kind of want to. I'm gonna. But yeah, I swapped out my Mechanical Dragonling so that, first of all, I can eat a Minefield, and maybe, if I'm lucky, a big cooldown from Murgleton here. Oh, we got Darkness. That is huge. Yeah, I just completely avoided, like, over 1,000 damage because of Minefield, too. So let's see here. How about I bring in the Imp? He's probably first of all, pissed off, and second of all, about to go for Soul Rush, so let's go for... I could try to portal the Sticky Grenade, but I don't think I can. And I'm pretty sure he's going to go for Soul Rush, so yeah. Now it's game over. He can't stun me. I don't think Aura of Gaunt can miss. That's the one thing that could maybe give me some trouble here, but yeah, it should be pretty much game over. I think what I'm going to do here is get my rip rolling first. And then I'll go for Aura of Gonk. And it'll be cut in half, but it'll still be a lot of healing. Yeah, 105, 51. That's cut in half. I mean, it's actually insane healing. He's giving me my Beast Racial every other turn, then I'm just healing back up with Aura of Gonk and the Rip and the Immolation. Oh, this team is so fun. I really cannot wait to get this Crimson Mechasaur because I think it can do what the TMD was doing so many times better. Because, so you'll be running Razor Talons and Rip instead of Razor Talons and Flame Breath, which means, okay, you'll not have as much damage diversity, but you gain Deflection. And Deflection is just an insane ability. I think objectively it's overpowered. I don't understand why it's a 3-round cooldown. In my opinion, it's as much of a factor in why the idol is so difficult and annoying to beat as Sandstorm. Because, like, what realistically is the counter to Deflection? Like, it just wins. It just goes first. And so, especially on a Sandstorm pet, that Deflection is wildly unfair because what would typically be a good strategy versus Sandstorm, since Sandstorm mitigates multi-hit attacks and barrages and dots and, you know, little like damage that happens in multiple increments, like AoE and multi-hit attacks. So what would make sense to beat Sandstorm is, okay, you try to like set up like a wind up, a supercharge, and then one shot him or something, right? Or set up like a geyser or some like, you know, time bomb with amplified magic, something like that to one shot it, and then deflection. It all just misses. I don't understand how it's a 3-round cooldown. I think minimum it should be a 4-round cooldown. And I think it would still be an OP ability at like 5 rounds. Like, it's the fact that it always goes first, so there's no counterplay. You could have negative 1,000 speed, and you still will avoid everything with deflection. Not everything, but you know what I mean. 99% of attacks miss through deflection. The only things that do are kind of irrelevant, like Swarm of Flies still hits through. I'm not sure. What was that ability he had? Sticky Grenade? I'm not sure if Sticky Grenade hits through deflection. I think it does, but maybe I'm thinking of like Explosive Brew or something. Or maybe they work exactly the same way. So, yeah, maybe like Explosive Brew and Sticky Grenade can hit through deflection. Oh, no, I know what I'm thinking of. I was thinking of the MPD has an ability that's a little similar. It's a Bombing Run. So, I think one or both of these abilities can sort of hit through deflection because Bombing Run is weird and the damage happens at the end of the turn. So there's some weird bugs with like the Undead Racial, for example, where it'll get an extra turn if you trigger the Undead Racial with Bombing Run as the killing blow. And then I think Sticky Grenade is coded to not miss if you have like a dodge up or something. But other than very niche abilities like that you don't see very often, yeah, I mean, deflection is insane. But but this pet is really expensive, so I think that's why you don't see it very often, because if this pet was like as easy to obtain as Anomalous, I think he would be all over the bracket, because first of all, he's a troll pet. You can just waste people's time with deflection and decoy. And in my bracket, my bracket loves to troll. There are people that queue up specifically with like just teams that are just like, you know, slippery ice with the sandstorm pet, with like another pet that's like Cobbleshell or Tremblor, or, you know, just like a no fun allowed pet. Not really because they want to win, but just because clearly they just want to like troll. So yeah, I think that this pet would be very popular in my bracket if it wasn't like 2 million gold on the auction house. But running the fun build, which is Razor Talons Rip, and then either of these abilities are viable, I think he'll be a very, very strong third for this combo. So I'm not going to have that for a couple of weeks, but I'm definitely looking forward to trying it out once I do. And might do a pet spotlight on this pet, because it looks like there's a lot of potential for different builds and different teams that I think that he would be really strong on. Fantastic stats for him. I mean, high health is always good on a mechanical, so you resurrect with more HP. Having high health is very valuable. I think having high speed generally is more useful, but I mean, if you're not going to win the speed fight, then I mean, these are about as perfect stats as you get, because he basically accepts, okay, fine, you go first, and then I'm just going to out damage you with, you know, Rip and Razor Talons. And then Deflection doesn't care about speed. He only has 236 speed, and he's still going to go first with Deflection, which is like part of what makes it so OP. I think the cooldown's just too short. I think 3 rounds, I mean, maybe that's a hot take. I think Deflection deserves a nerf. I know it used to be even more OP. It used to be Reflection, and so back when it was the what's it called? The Flare Youngling was just unbeatable, because it was a 3-round cooldown that always went first, always avoided every attack, and reflected all of the damage that you would have taken that turn. So this isn't even the most OP version of the ability, and I think it's still OP. I think the biggest defender is the Anubis Idol, because yeah, it's like you're so limited with fighting this pet. Your options are either fight fire with fire and play your own sandstorm pet, maybe play darkness to change the weather, or you have to play like pets that don't have multi-hit attacks or dots or one-shots. So basically just like basic attacks that ideally are on an elemental, so you don't have to worry about the 10% miss chance. And then there's always a chance that, you know, if you're not on an elemental, that Sandstorm saves him, and if he deflections like a darkness or your Sandstorm or something, yeah, it's very difficult to take down even just one of these pets, because of deflection being that safety net if you happen to try to counter Sandstorm with a one-shot of some sort. Anyways, I think that's enough rambling for me. I'm going to go ahead and call it there. That was 3 good games, and I might queue a little bit more here in a second. But, yeah, those were 3 decent games. Gonna call it for now, and then I'll see y'all in the next one.